AI wrote a legendary game in 5 minutes with a single prompt and on the first try. Sounds like complete madness if you are living in 2023, but you are in 2026, baby. Is this actually possible now? Today we are running the ultimate no mercy challenge for AI. 1 prompt, 1 attempt, 1 game. No time limits, we are testing pure quality. Whatever these LLMs spit out on the first try, that is their final answer. The game? Tetris, the golden classic. If I were an AI, I would be embarrassed to mess this up. But coding it perfectly on the first attempt? That is a brutal test. Today's contestants: Gemini 3 Pro, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, LeChat from Mistral AI, and Claude. Let's see who survives. Alright, first up we have Gemini 3 Pro from Google. Now listen, I spent a considerable amount of time crafting the perfect prompt for this challenge. I am talking detailed instructions, exact specifications for how the game should look and function. Every single mechanic spelled out clearly. I wanted to give these AIs the best possible chance to succeed, because I am not here to trick them. I am here to test them. Fun fact though, after I wrote my prompt, I actually asked Claude and Gemini themselves to review it. They helped me polish it up, make sure nothing was ambiguous, and you know what is funny? Claude, that sneaky little genius, actually tried to insert code examples into the prompt. Actual working code snippets for some of the operations. I was like, bro, nice try, but that is basically cheating. We are keeping this text only. Pure instructions. No hand-holding with pre-written solutions. Anyway, the prompt is locked and loaded. Gemini 3 Pro receives its mission, and just like that, it starts working. The code is flowing. Lines upon lines, and honestly, it finished pretty quick. Not lightning fast, but respectable speed for what is essentially building an entire game from scratch. Moment of truth. I copy the code, paste it into an HTML file, open it in my browser, and oh my god. This Tetris, just look at it. It actually works. I am not gonna lie, I got chills. The game boots up and immediately you can see Gemini understood the assignment. The visuals are clean, the blocks are falling exactly like they should, the controls, responsive as heck. Every key does exactly what you would expect. Left goes left, right goes right, rotate actually rotates. Revolutionary concept, I know, but you would be surprised how many times I have seen AI mess this up. There is even a ghost piece at the bottom showing where your block is going to land. Now, personally, I would have loved an option to toggle that off during gameplay, but hey, we are not changing the prompt now. Rules are rules. Watch this, boom, row clear. There is a nice little explosion effect when you complete a line. It is subtle but satisfying. The whole game is put together really well. Everything is exactly where it should be. You have got the next piece window, you have got the hold piece window, there is a line counter showing how many rows you have cleared, level indicator, and get this, there is even a control guide showing which keys do what! Gemini thought of everything! Oh snap, did you see that? I just hit level 2! The level changed after clearing 10 lines, and I swear the speed increased slightly. This is actually functioning game logic. Gemini, you absolute legend! I am genuinely impressed right now. Now, are there flaws? Of course there are. First off, there is no menu screen. The game just starts immediately when you open the file. No title screen, no start button, nothing. You are just thrown into the action. Some people might like that, but it feels a bit abrupt. Also, there is no pause function, which is pretty rough if you need to, I don't know, exist in the real world for a second. The blocks have this slight glow to them, kind of neon-ish, which is cool, but the overall aesthetic gives me more retro CRT television vibes than the cyberpunk style I was hoping for. It is like looking at an old tube TV from the 90 seconds. Some of you might actually dig that nostalgic look, and honestly, I can see the appeal, but it is not quite the futuristic neon dream I had in mind. Still, the game itself? Solid. Very solid. Gemini 3 Pro absolutely delivered. Let's see if the competition can match this energy. Next up, representing China, we have DeepSeek. Same prompt, same rules, same expectations. Now look, I have to be honest with you all. In my previous video, DeepSeek did not exactly shine. It had some issues, but I believe in giving everyone a fair shot. This is a new day, a new challenge. DeepSeek has the potential to surprise us. One thing I need to mention though, this model is slow. Like, genuinely slow. I am watching the code generate character by character, and I am thinking to myself, maybe some senior developers could actually type faster than this? It is not even a joke. The generation speed is genuinely testing my patience here. But hey, speed is not everything in this challenge. We are testing quality, not how fast you can produce garbage. DeepSeek is taking its time, being methodical. I can respect that approach. You know, the top managers at leading American AI companies claim that Chinese AI is about 6 months behind the top LLMs. 6 months! Honestly, that is not that big of a gap when you think about it. In the tech world, 6 months is nothing. These models are evolving so fast that half a year is basically a blink. That is exactly why I run these challenges, to see for myself where everyone actually stands. The code is finally done! Let's fire this bad boy up and see what DeepSeek brought to the table! Loading the game and... Whoa, okay. It looks pretty impressive at first glance. The visuals are nice. There are actual start and pause buttons on screen. That is already better than Gemini in the menu department. But wait, the start button does not start the game? I am clicking it. I am clicking it again. Nothing is happening. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. The fonts are beautiful. The layout is clean. The visual design is genuinely good. Everything looks professional and polished, but the game literally does not function. The start button is decorative at this point. It is just vibes. No substance. I am so disappointed right now. I really thought DeepSeek was going to pull through. I had faith in this underdog story. I wanted to see China's representative show up and prove the skeptics wrong. But this is a non-functional product. Beautiful, yes. Playable? Absolutely not. And remember, there are no second chances in this challenge. DeepSeek had one shot, and unfortunately that shot missed the target completely. We are not debugging this. We are not asking for fixes. Rules are rules. Let's move on before I get too emotional about this. Alright, now we are bringing in the heavyweight champion of the AI world, ChatGPT from OpenAI, the model that started this entire mainstream AI revolution, the OG, the one that made your grandma suddenly interested in artificial intelligence. Same prompt goes in. ChatGPT immediately recognizes what is being asked and starts generating. You can tell this model has seen things, it has experience, it knows what is expected, and it is ready to deliver. And yo, the speed difference compared to DeepSeek is night and day. ChatGPT is blazing through this code like it is nothing. Lines are appearing so fast I can barely read them. This is what a premium model looks like in action. Code is complete. Time for the moment of truth. Opening the file, and it works. And honestly, it looks amazing. The aesthetics here are hitting different. This is way more in line with that neon cyberpunk vibe I was hoping for. The colors pop. The blocks have that futuristic glow. Everything feels more modern and sleek compared to Gemini's retro approach. Let's test the mechanics. Moving left, right, perfect. Rotation, smooth as butter. The blocks spin exactly like they should. Hard drop, clean. The physics feel authentic to the original Tetris experience. ChatGPT clearly understood the source material. Boom! There goes a row. Nice explosion effect. The animations are satisfying. And look at that, the level is increasing and the speed is ramping up accordingly. The difficulty scaling actually works. ChatGPT, you absolute unit. You came through when it mattered most. But let's talk about the negatives, because nothing is perfect. First, same problem as Gemini, no menu screen. The game just starts immediately. No title, no options, nothing. You are in the action before you even realize it. Second, and this is actually kind of annoying, there is no control information displayed anywhere. Like, which key is supposed to activate the hold function? I pressed H thinking that made sense. Nothing. Did not work. Had to just guess and experiment. That is not great user experience design, ChatGPT. Third issue, and this one is a bit more serious. The ghost piece at the bottom, it is way too prominent. It does not look like a transparent preview of where your piece will land. It looks like a fully colored, actual piece just chilling at the bottom. It is confusing. When you are playing fast, your eyes can get tricked into thinking there are two pieces on the board. Not ideal. But overall, this Tetris is absolutely playable. It works, it is fun, it looks good. ChatGPT earned its spot at the top table today. Now it is time for some European representation. LeChat from Mistral AI is stepping up to the plate. Their whole marketing angle is European efficiency, so let's see if they can actually walk the walk. Mistral started out as this beautiful open source dream. They were going to be the people's AI, accessible to everyone. Then Microsoft showed up with a giant bag of money and suddenly Mistral became not so open anymore. Now they do open models for the community and closed paid models for business. It is not the worst thing in the world, but it definitely killed some of the idealistic vibes. Anyway, enough history. LeChat is generating code in Hold Up. Did this thing just finish faster than Gemini? I swear the generation speed was notably quicker. European efficiency indeed. Let's test this game. Opening the file, and what am I looking at? Okay, so there is a game here. Kind of. If I manually press the keyboard controls, things respond. I can rotate pieces, I can move them, I can drop them, so the input handling exists. But here's the problem. Without my input, the pieces just sit there. They do not fall on their own. The fundamental gravity mechanic of Tetris not functioning. The blocks refuse to descend unless I personally escort them downward. And the ghost piece? Oh, buddy, it is doing something weird. After the main piece starts moving, the ghost preview actually moves upward, up the opposite direction of where it should go. What kind of physics-defying nightmare is this? The neon cyberpunk aesthetic I asked for, nowhere to be seen. It is just basic, plain, unremarkable. To be fair, the explosion effect when you clear a line works, and the level does change as you progress. So there are functional elements here, but overall, this is neither fish nor fowl. It is a half-baked experience. Some things work, some things are completely broken. You can technically play this if you really want to, but it requires way more effort than any Tetris game should require. LeChat, I wanted to root for you. I really did. But this result is just mid. Not terrible, not good, just meh. Final contestant. Last but definitely not least, we have Claude from Anthropic. Do not let me down, bro. We are counting on you to end this challenge on a high note. The code generation begins, and Claude is working with confidence. You can just tell this model knows exactly what it is doing. There is no hesitation, no weird pauses, pure execution. And honestly, this makes sense when you look at Anthropic's track record. Their most successful product is not even the chatbot interface, it is Claude Code. That is their bread and butter. The tool that professional developers actually pay money to use because it genuinely accelerates their workflow. Real talk, Claude Code is printing money for Anthropic right now. It launched in 2025, and it is already generating over $1 billion in revenue. That is roughly 10% of the company's entire income. Developers genuinely love this thing because it makes them significantly faster at their jobs. And here is a mind-blowing fact for you. Did you know that 90% of Claude Code's own codebase was written by Claude Code? The AI coding tool wrote itself! That is some next-level self-referential genius right there. Inception vibes, but for programming. Alright, the code is complete. And oh, that is cute. Claude decided to run the game directly in the chat interface. It is showing me a playable version right here in the conversation window. But wait, the keyboard controls are not responding in this embedded version. The game renders fine, but I cannot actually play it through the chat interface. No worries though. Let's do this the classic way. Copy the code, paste it into an HTML file, open it in a browser, and I never doubted you for a second. Everything works perfectly. The mechanics are flawless. Piece movement, rotation, hard drops, all buttery smooth. The ghost piece preview, properly transparent, properly positioned, properly helpful. The neon aesthetic? Finally, someone understood the assignment. This actually looks like cyberpunk Tetris. And look at this control information is displayed right there on screen. No guessing which key does what. It is all laid out clearly. User experience, chef's kiss. Let's test the row clearing. Boom! Beautiful explosion effect. Level increases. Speed ramps up. Wait, let me try something. The hold function pressing the key works! I can actually swap pieces! Some of the other models completely ignored this feature. And pause? Yes! There is a working pause function. I can stop the game and resume whenever I want. Claude, you magnificent beast! This is exactly what I was hoping for. Everything I asked for in the prompt has been delivered. No compromises. No half-baked features. Just a complete, polished, fully functional cyberpunk Tetris game. I am satisfied. Alright everyone, let's wrap this up. This was a genuinely difficult challenge. One prompt, one attempt, no room for error. These AI models were pushed to their limits, and honestly, I am impressed by what we saw today. The fact that any of them could produce a working game from a single text prompt is remarkable. We are living in an incredible era of technological advancement. Now, I am not going to rank these models first, second, third place. That feels too reductive for what we experienced here. What I will say is this. LeChat from Mistral AI and DeepSeek struggled with this challenge. Their results were incomplete or non-functional. But, and this is important, that does not mean these models belong in the trash. They just need more iterations. A few refinements to the prompt, maybe some back and forth conversation, and their code would probably work just as well as the top performers. They are not bad models. They just could not nail it on the first try. However, rules are rules. In this specific challenge, with these specific constraints, they did not make the cut. On the other hand, Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini 3 Pro absolutely crushed it. These three are simply on another level when it comes to code generation quality. Their outputs were accurate, functional, and followed the instructions precisely. These models understand what you want, and they deliver it consistently. We are living in the most amazing and interesting time in human history. AI is going to change everything. The way we work, the way we create, the way we interact with technology. And I promise to keep my eyes locked on this evolution. I will continue testing these digital warriors and pushing them to their limits. Until next time.